Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome back to Stellaris and the Biogenesis expansion. So in today's episode we're going to be continuing this war. So we're going to move over to this location we were just looking at. They do have that natural wormhole here. And the reason why we're coming over here is to take out this starbase, which has a little bit more strength than some of the ones we've seen in their space thus far. And hopefully it can defend against any fleet that they send after us. Because what I'd like to do is then redirect our fleet over to these locations. So we'll take this one over. This is probably the strongest starbase we've seen from them with the 2.3 thousand, but not really too much of an issue. We'll look at that event here in a minute. So hopefully that'll do alright to defend the location. I'm sure they'll be able to take it, but at least they'll lose some ships in the process. Because remember, we're going to be having our science ships and also our invasion force over in this location, so I don't want those to get attacked while our military fleet is engaging these systems, because I really want to get this location, if possible, if we can earn enough influence to make claims up here. Because remember that these guys right here, which they only have 2 systems, and their vassal is the Decron United Nations. So I'd like to attack them, because remember they've pledged secret loyalty to us. And the issue is we wouldn't be able to attack their overlord because we don't have access to their space. So we really need to get this location if possible. That'll allow us to attack both of these 2 systems here. So we'll try and get over there. Let's send the fleets to this one first, and then over here we'll engage against that, slightly more powerful starbase. So this event is Mutant Contagion. An outbreak of a new disease is spreading across our empire. The illness causes a host of unpleasant symptoms, including but not limited to involuntary expulsions of air and liquid, debilitating fatigue, and in some cases loss of life. Most curiously, this disease is only affecting those who have altered their physiology in certain ways with genetic mutations. Ongoing study of their modified genome has led to some surprising insights. So we could find a therapeutic application that'll give us access to this new tech, which would actually be pretty good and fit with how we've been building our civilization out, so it's going to increase the experience gain and the lifespan for our leaders, which we do have a focus on our leaders. Or we can weaponize the disease. That also fits with our species as far as like the lore goes, but again might not be quite as useful. You're going to get increased militarist ethics attraction for 5 years, and then 2 of our characters are going to get new traits, but we will get a negative 50 opinion with any materialist empires. I feel like this one's probably better, gels well with our leader focus, so we're going to go with that one. Given we do have to still research that, so that will take a bit of time. Maybe we'll prioritize that since it does help our leaders out so much. So we've analyzed the debris. I guess we had some right here that we were working on, and then we've sent the science ship to analyze these 2 locations. And then we're also doing this invasion right now. So this shouldn't be too difficult. Yeah, we've seen that we are much stronger than they are here. So yeah, we should be able to win here easily enough and get control of this planet. And I think this is the only planet that we still needed to attack in order to get control of all these systems we're currently occupying. So we'll just move these guys. Not sure where the next planet we're going to have to go to is. Let's move these guys over to here, just because we don't have our military fleet over here at the moment, so I don't want them to get attacked. And let's go and move the fleet to attack this starbase. And then from there we'll... Oh, damn. So it looks like they gave in before I was able to make the claims here. Well, actually it seems like they were completely wiped out. Was that our last planet? Maybe if they gave in and didn't have any remaining planets, then it completely wiped them out. That's what it seems like. So now, if that's the case, let me just let it play for a second. It does seem to be the case. So now we're going to need to scan all these systems and then get them claimed. Add them to our empire. Alright, so we're going to need to hire more scientists, because we only have the one at the moment, Grey Plume, who's also the head of research. We just haven't needed scientists, but now we're going to need a couple. So we'll probably hire, I guess, 2 more. I don't see any reason not to. So yeah, we'll get 2 scientists because we want to get as much of this claimed as possible without having to fight a war for it, which you can see we do have to scan all these. And none of these have been scanned, so we won't be able to make claims there until after we get that done. So let's go into our leaders and see which 2 scientists we want to hire. We have 4 options at the moment. We're going to hire these 2 characters, which I named them based on their former jobs. So we've got Dr. Avian here, who used to be a medical worker. Now, given all of our scientists would technically be known as Doctor, but this is an actual medical doctor, so we'll call them Dr. Avian. And then this would be Gold Volt, since this is a former technician. So we're going to hire both of these characters. This is their current traits. That shouldn't affect us as long as we don't use the doctor as a governor. So let's go and hire this one and Gold Volt. Now I could have waited to do that until we had their ships constructed. I've already set that up. Also managed the new planets that we've taken over. We have, I think, 3 new planets. So I did have to change some of their names. So this is the Vor capital system. So I named their actual star Vor. And then their capital, which I think used to be called Last Mog, but now it's Vor Prime. Since that is the capital, as you can see here, it has the Empire capital that will eventually change. This might also be the capital of the galactic market. I'm not sure if it's this one. I could have swore there's like a modifier for it, but I'm not seeing one here. I don't know if there's definitely not a building for it. I don't recall what marks the location as the galactic capital. Could also be this planet here, which I've renamed to Vor Mog, because it did have the same name as one of our other planets, Volage Mog. So this will be Vor Mog, since again it's in the Vor capital location. Changed up a few of the things on all these planets, particularly to try and ensure that we get some precinct houses built in these locations. Let's actually prioritize those, since we will definitely need them. I did not rename this planet just yet. I'll let you guys provide some suggestions for what you think this one should be called. So this is over here, and so we'll have to rename the planets and then the system, or I should say the star, based on what we call the planets. We do have some available leader traits for those 2 scientists that we just hired, so let's go ahead and level them both up. So with Dr. Avian here, remember he already has the roamer trait, which we really want to make sure we're focusing on that increased survey speed, so we can survey as quickly as possible. And then Gold Volt, gonna want something that'll help, but none of these will. And none of these are really gonna help us much. I suppose we'll just go with Entrepreneur, in case we want to use this character as a governor somewhere. Alright, so we got them hired. We need to move our fleet back. We don't need them over here anymore, which, let me just take a look. Yeah, we had them right here in Exodore Station. So let's move them back. And you also notice we'll need to, get the hyperlanes set up as well. So I believe our construction ship isn't currently doing anything. But we also have to take advantage of some of these mineral locations. The reason why we're getting so much from these, so this one here and this one here, I think I mentioned this last episode, but we have the arc furnaces there, which are very high in upkeep for the energy. But they do produce, all those extra minerals, which we were having some mineral issues before, but you can see they're not as big of a problem now. So before we set up the hyper relays, let's see if we can't build here. We cannot. Okay, so we cannot take advantage of those extra minerals just yet. Okay, so we'll just start with the relay network then. So we already have one here, so we need to get it into this capital location for the Vor, which we want to build one right here. So we have both of our science ships constructed. This one's going to be Gold Volts, and they're going to be going over to here, since we already have Dr. Avian moving over to this location. So we'll get these systems all scanned so that we can claim them. Already got another construction ship being built. And it seems that Grey Plume is also done, so we can have them. We'll probably have him over to here and scan this location, because it's really important that I get these done. And so what we could do is just have Gold Volt. I suppose we could have Gold Volt move over to here, Because what I want to do is claim both of these as quickly as we can to stop them from taking it. Because otherwise we're going to have to, it's just another system we're going to have to take over in the war, since we'll be attacking them once we get these systems claimed. Event about a rift in space, a dimensional scar has opened up. Should have looked at where that location was. Alright, so the construction ship that we just got started is done, so let's go and have them move over to here so that we can get building in this location as soon as we have it fully scanned, which looks like we're making good progress there. And getting the criminal underworld event here in Bora Prime, not surprising. I've already taken that decision there to do the anti-crime campaign. Not going to be super helpful because they don't have a lot of enforcers just yet until we get the precinct house done. But yeah, crime is certainly an issue here, as you'd expect. We got our next biomorphosis event. Spontaneous limb growth, fluctuations between states of matter, sudden onset metamorphosis. These reports are few and far between, but they cannot be ignored. Our experiments with mutation are garnering some less than desirable results across our civilization. Perhaps unlocking the tools to modify one's genes at will was more than we initially bargained for. So this option here, unusual mutations, can boost our research. So this will have a penalty that will reduce happiness, and it's also going to irritate the spiritualist empires. It will advance the situation by 50, so quite a bit, and we'll get a nice bonus here to society research for the next 5 years. The other option is Cull the Abominations. Every authoritarian leader gains the eager trait. Not sure how many of those we have. I don't recall what the eager trait does either. I'll have to look. But 100 hops will die. I really feel like that's probably the best option here. We don't want to reduce our happiness by that much. I think it fits our species a little bit more too. We'd get rid of anything that's messed up, and we don't want them spreading those messed up genes. So we'll go with that option. So show us who got it. So a few characters, maybe 2. So Skycaller, and I think that's our general that we forgot to name, if I'm not mistaken. No, Steel Talon is currently our general. I'll need to take a look and see what character that is. Maybe that's one of the characters that we got. It's a different species, yeah. That's this character here. So he got the eager trait, as well as one other of our characters, and that reduces their cost and upkeep. Obviously, we don't pay the cost since we already have them hired, but we'll reduce their upkeep, so that's helpful. They'll also get increased leader experience, and does not use the leader capacity while under level 4. So we finally completed the reconnaissance of this location. So let's move over to here next with Grey Plume, and then go ahead and seize control of this, building the outpost. So we'll get that done, and then also you'll see that Rift in Space is a situation with a few different options. Currently just doing the study passively. We could instead devote research, get some increased unity, 10%, but it would cost us monthly physics research. Or we could send probes, and in this case you're going to get a lot more unity, 25% compared to the 10%, and you'll get some monthly physics research rather than losing it. However, it will cost us alloys, but this is something we have plenty of. So for right now, I think it'd be good to do the send probes. We could also advance along this a little bit quicker. I did want to show you guys where this is at since I forgot to do so. So that is right here in this location. So that'll start advancing a bit quicker now that we're doing that third option. We've also already scanned this location, but haven't been able to claim it just yet. And you notice that we are having a lot of issues up here in resources with those new planets that we got. So we got food, energy, and consumer goods shortages. Also not earning as much minerals as we once were. So just in general, our economy is doing pretty bad. I think the only thing we might be doing better in is trade, since it does seem like their planets are focused on trade, which makes sense considering the fact that they have the galactic market in their empire. They did. Now it's in our empire. We did get enough unity to get the next tradition, which remember we've already filled out all the trees here. Now we can select a new one. However, we won't be able to select the new ones that became available from our ascension perk until after we finish up with the biomorphosis situation. And so you'll see that there's a few different options here: cloning, mutation, or purity. Remember how this is going to be set up based off of what we've done with this situation. So we won't be able to take any of those just yet. We'll have to select a different one because I do want to invest our unity while we have it. And I think the tradition that helped us out the most is probably something for our economy, since we're having a lot of issues with that throughout the entire campaign. So I'm thinking prosperity. Now we could go with aptitude, since this one focuses on leaders. I think we already have a lot of leader bonuses. I just don't think this would be as helpful as getting something for our economy. So we're gonna go with prosperity. Increase the mining station output, more resources from jobs, as well as less upkeep from those. Yeah, I think this will be pretty helpful, guys. So let's go with prosperity. The first bonus we're getting is the mining station output plus 20%. So should see a nice jump up immediately from that. And the minerals and the energy credits here. Yeah, look at that. Not so much on the energy credits, but yeah, the minerals doing much better there. I don't know where we're at on the energy before, but food is also not as short. That resolution was passed, the ready shield. So the next one up is one we're actually opposed to. Yeah, we don't really want this one. Doesn't help out much. The pop consumer goods upkeep being reduced is helpful. I don't think it's really worth the negatives here. We could try and push something else up above it, but we only have 2.7 thousand points, so the only thing we could support that we're not already supporting that would push this one down would be the security contractors, which this is mostly for the mercenaries. Really, the only thing that's going to affect us is these two here, since we're not really using mercenaries right now. We're not doing the mercenary enclaves. So we're going to get increased trade from jobs, but reduced naval capacity. I think it's better than that one passing, so let's support that. And that still was not enough. Alright, so that's unfortunate. Yeah, this one's still just above it by a few thousand. Well, we got a little bit of time, and we'll be claiming new systems, increasing our overall strength. So we're going to try and grab this one up as soon as we're done here. We won't even get the minerals and the energy just yet. And let's have Goldvolt survey that last system. And we also just identified this alien entity. So let's take a look, see where they're at. So they're right above Aerithal. So you can see that there. And we'll take a look at the event. A tubular alien entity has entered orbit of Aerithal with no warning or explanation. It appears to be moving without engines or thrusters, gliding in complete silence through the void of space. Cylinders rotating ominously. Though it has yet to display any signs of aggression, it refuses to acknowledge our hails. Our military advisors warn that may pose a considerable threat to the inhabitants below and implore us to engage neutralization protocols. Our scientists, however, plead that we instead learn from this remarkable piece of technology. So we say we will study it, or the safety of our people must come first. Yeah, let's study it, because then we don't even know that we could destroy this. So gotta be careful. So that'll issue that new special project. We should take a look here and the situation log. Do we want to research that yet? Let me see exactly what we're currently working on for the engineering. You can also see what I've selected over the episode, because we've gotten a few techs done, and now we're working on living states and the quantum energy states. And we're about to get the new armor, and it's only in 6 months, so I think we should probably complete that. So we can put the new armor on our ships. These guys want to establish an embassy. It's a mega corporation, ruthless capitalist. Yeah, we'll go and accept that. Not sure even who those are. Of course, we already know what our next war is going to be. It's going to be against these guys here. First, we got to grab these two systems. A real quick, easy war in order to get this nation here, the Decron United Nations, under our control. So we got the next biomorphosis event, the tipping point. Engineering our own evolution has led to profound advancements. We now possess a deeper understanding of genetic traits, reproduction, and DNA sequencing. The culmination of our progress is within reach, and in just a few years we will fully realize our potential as a species. At the present, however, we may continue on our current path, or choose another focus for the next stage of our development. So this is stage 2 of the the 3 stages. So we could continue with the mutation, and we'll get these modifiers here, as well as increased leader experience gain and lifespan. We can instead switch it up to purity, increasing hop growth speed per 100 researchers. And then we'll also get the reduced empire size from hops. I'm kind of thinking of going with purity for our second stage. Or we can do the cloning. This is going to grant the monthly organic hop growth per 100 researchers. So a little bit different rather than increasing the speed. It's just granting the default hop growth. And the modifier you're going to be getting is reduced crime and increased governing ethics attraction. Okay. The reduced crime would be helpful. You know, I think we're going to go with the purity, guys. Yeah, let's switch it up and go with purity. So focus on that, and that'll result in some different events for us as well. So just try something a little bit different for stage 2. We did finish up the construction of that starbase. Remember, we're not going to work on these just yet, because we want to make sure we grab this system up before the Tajel Nation do it. And that'll get us some alloys and some energy credits. Okay, so these guys have finished that construction there. Let's have them grab this system up rather than continue with the hyper relay stations. And then we also finished our council agenda. So this is for the biomorphosis. And so this is going to give us increased progress, 25% progress on this tech, which will unlock a building and a feature, the habitability modification. So let's go ahead and complete that agenda and take a look and see what we want to get next. Would make sense to get the chart, the unknown, since we're now trying to scan those locations as fast as we can. Yeah, I think that might be the best option given the situation, because I'd like to get control of as much of this space as we can, because I don't know if this connects here, if this is a dead end. It might be a dead end, in which case it doesn't really matter because we'd get control of all this anyways. But really can't see the hyperlanes here, so this could very well connect. I feel like it does, because this is all open space. We don't know anybody there. In which case it might have been that Vor Technocracy that owned this. I'm not sure. So what I think we should do is try and get down there as quickly as we can. So we need to get all this scanned, and thus we'll go ahead and focus on that for our council. So upgraded all of our ships with that new armor. Also had a bunch of newer weapons to upgrade, and we had the better thrusters, the plasma thrusters. So we got all of our ships and our defense platforms upgraded. Did have to change them up a little bit and increase the armor on some of the models because we just didn't have enough power to have all those shields. We need to get better generators for our ships. It's become a little bit of an issue. So yeah, we got those all upgraded since we did finish researching the new armor. And now we're working on the Starhold. However, we're not actually getting that right now because we're working on this situation first. So it'll be done in 7 months. So we finished with the construction here. So let's actually get those mining stations up and running and these 2 systems, since we don't have to worry about them grabbing this system from us. So yeah, we'll get this all set up before we do our attack over here. Continue scanning in these locations, and you can see that these 2 systems do connect, as I expected. So we want to make sure we get over there as soon as we can. Alright, so we finished scanning another location. So that's right over here. So let's have this scientist go over here. So it looks like there's a revolt brewing on Exodor. So this is actually one of our older planets that we conquered. And I believe this is the sector capital as well. So we're going to have to deal with that. And that's actually because we got this corrupt administration, which further reduced stability. So that's causing a lot of problems here, on top of all the crime that we have. So yeah, a lot of issues here. So we'll see if we can't fix that through this situation by maybe distributing the amenities. So that would require some consumer goods. I'm not sure if we have a shortage of amenities here though. We do, so that's hitting us with the happiness. So that should improve the situation some. I also look for a more long-term solution when it comes to the amenities. I could have swore we had, yeah, we got the luxury residences here. Yeah, I guess we don't have anything else that's really helping us when it comes to the amenities. So that's kind of a problem. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to get rid of the heritage site here so that we can instead replace the administrative offices, you know, get rid of the bureaucrats. This is really a tech world anyways. So we'll get rid of them there and replace it with the heritage site. And then here, where the heritage site used to be, we'll instead get something for the amenities. Probably the holo theaters. Yeah, we'll get the holo theaters. So that should help with that. And then once that's replaced, then we should be able to replace this one here with the heritage site. Although, you know, obviously we'll have to get the lower level one and upgrade it again. But until we fix that, we have to do something here. So we can either do the consumer goods, where we're already a bit short, or we could instead institute a crackdown. I don't know how many soldiers we even have there, so I'm not sure how helpful this would be. But you'll lose energy per 100 soldiers while getting the stability. But it does have the upkeep in the unity, so let's just go with distribute amenities. That should help improve the situation there to a degree. Yeah, might have already solved it. That's all we needed to do there. I'm not entirely sure why. Seems like it shouldn't have solved it, but yeah, looks like the situation's gone.
Recon pass completed.
So it shouldn't actually cost us anything in consumer goods. Must have just like barely been in position for that to pop up. So let's take a look at all of our civilian ships. So these guys have finished construction here. Let's build the mining stations as we go, because remember there will be an issue with influence. And then we also need to make sure our science ships continue to research. So they have finished here. That's Gold Volt. So I suppose since Dr. Avian is closer, we'll have them survey this system, and Gold Volt can do this one. And then when we did upgrade our ships, we didn't actually upgrade them. So let's go ahead and do that. It's going to cost us some crystals and some alloys. And we'll see how powerful it gets. It's right now at 15.5 thousand. So I'm curious just how much that improves. So we did finish with the situation here. Despite extensive research, the enigmatic cache and its origin are still shrouded in mystery. Though it is definitely not organic in nature, it is not entirely a machine either. It appears to be preoccupied mainly with the gathering, storing, and encoding of data. Its surface is covered in hundreds of thousands of minuscule scratches and dents in which we have discovered traces of a compound that is alien to our galaxy. So I'll go to some engineering research, basically the engineering research we just used to work on that situation. The next event here for the biomorphosis is Pure Scandal. Having rolled out regular genetic testing to streamline our path towards purity and identify genomic outliers, high-quality DNA has become something to boast about. Certain Empire officials have supposedly been lying about their biological makeup, forging test results that suggest they have more desirable traits than they do in reality. If it comes to light, this concealment of truth threatens to outrage the public. So this is kind of like a event from that movie. God, what was it called? It had Ethan Hawke in it. I had to look it up. It's called Gattaca. So I don't know if you guys saw that movie, but kind of like a similar situation here. So we can say we need more accurate and reliable testing. So this will increase the happiness for 5 years. Really helpful considering some of the issues we're having on some of our planets, Exeter 1, but also some of the new planets we have. They're not exactly the happiest being under our control. But it does have a cost. Researchers' upkeep will be going up during that time. Or we can instead say perhaps this official made a mistake. So it's Golden Wing. So Golden Wing is currently the issue here. I don't really want her to die. Yeah, I'll say we need more accurate and reliable testing. This does get you a ton of unity though, 11,000. But probably wouldn't be enough. Yeah, wouldn't be enough. Not quite. To get us the next tradition there. Yeah, we'll go with this option, guys. Increased happiness would be helpful given the current circumstances. Senate is only in recess for a little bit longer, and since our support of this wasn't enough, not even close, we'll go back to abstaining there. Because yeah, clearly this is going to be passing. It's not a huge problem for us. You're just not really getting much. The pop consumer goods that we keep being reduced is helpful. But the diplomatic weight from the economy, that's certainly going to hurt us. It's going to hurt everybody, of course. But we're getting a lot of points from our economy. Like, if you look at this, we're getting a 705 compare that to all the other top countries, and we have the highest outside of the top country here. So that means it's going to hit us the hardest, or at least out of all the ones that are above us. I think just compared to everybody, yeah, it's going to hit us the hardest. That's the reason why I didn't support it, because it's going to reduce our diplomatic weight. So overall, just not a good thing. So unfortunate. Could of course try and pull in some favors and stuff. We don't really have any, so that isn't really going to help us out much. Let's go ahead and build those mining stations over here. And we do not have exotic gas extraction just yet, so can't get access to those. We will not be purified. Chants from protesters echo through our cities. A rebellious faction within our empire has taken it upon themselves to reject our cause and turn away from our path to purity. These troublemakers preach the supposed need for genetic diversity and cultural integration. If their activism continues unaddressed, there's a risk that our progress toward purity could falter. So we stamp out these dissidents, increasing stability, and also increasing the situation's advancement. So that'll speed it up by quite a bit. Or we can placate them with empty promises. 5 years will get increased monthly unity. Let's go with this option. We could use the increased stability for sure, and then we'll get this stage done sooner. So the other thing we need to do here is I realized that if we make Vor Prime the capital of this sector, which would require me to rename the sector, which I'm fine with doing, then that would add, I believe, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, I believe that would add this planet in there, which I do need to change the name of that again once you guys provide some name suggestions for this location. No real special modifiers here. It's a strategic operations center. Yeah, I think this would be the better location, particularly since that is the old capital, Vor Prime is. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll want to go to the management and move the sector capital. Oh, that thing there said that it's 3 systems, but yeah, looks like it was added in there. All right, excellent. And then we'd want to change the name of this sector as well. I don't know, just Vor Space. There we go, excellent. We still have the nest that's in the frontier sector. Could give them a governor. I don't think we have anybody good though for that. Not anybody who's going to give much bonuses. I guess you get the default bonuses. I suppose there's that. Yeah, why not? We'll put Golden Ring here. You're still getting the bonuses from them being level 2. So we had to claim these 2 systems, and we didn't really get anything from it, unfortunately. There's nothing there. We'll go to this location next. It does have an astral rift. Over here it has a mega structure, the arc furnace. I'm supposing this used to be part of their space, the Vor space, and that's why this is here. Again, those do cost us a lot of energy, but they increase the minerals by quite a bit. 27 minerals in that location. And then also we found a new pre-FTL civilization as well. Alright, so this construction ship has grabbed that location for us. We're going to get the minerals. And then we'll have them come over here and get this one next. Gangs clash on Vor Prime. So the situation is getting out of control, and now we see some devastation on the planet. Alright, so this science ship under Dr. Avian is finished, so they need to move all the way over to this location. Got 3 science ships scanning. Might be a little bit overkill here. Let's go ahead and go to this location next. But again, I want to move here as rapidly as we can. Really limited based on the construction ship, which because it's a straight line, you can only grab one at a time unless you wanted to waste a lot of influence, which we're actually starting to run a little low on influence. We do need to enact the gain physics insight. Got plenty of the astral points there. The rift in space situation has a new event, unstable space-time. While studying the astral rift, we have inadvertently destabilized the dimensional anomaly. This is causing violent distortions in space and time, bending nearby reality in an unpredictable manner. A new sentient species has materialized, the Velcrin, distributed evenly across our existing population. The Merovingia have no memory of where they are from and do not appear hostile. Wherever they originated, it is unlikely we can help them return. Fascinating. So we have a new species in our empire. We actually have two. I think we got these guys from that conquest. So this is a lithoid species that was uplifted. Okay, so that makes sense. They uplifted them. Not really many pops, just the 31. They have an arid preference, so it could be useful since it's so different from our other species. Being lithoid, they do have some unique properties. And they're also conservative. And we can always add some new traits to them. So I have to figure out what we want to do with these guys. I mean, there's not really many of them. Might not even be worth messing with at the moment. Maybe I'll do it off camera because it's 31 of them. But these are the new guys we just got. The Merovania. There's 100 of them, so a bit more, but not a lot. And they're plantoids. So here's their traits. Okay, so not terrible traits. I suppose energy is more of an issue for us, or has been, than food. So maybe that's a little bit of a problem there, but we can also make adjustment to them. And they live on the tundra planets. Okay, so I mean, there's not a lot of these pops. I'm not gonna mess with their species rights or their traits at the moment. But yeah, we do have some other pops in our empire now. We see that we're at 68% towards finishing the upgrade of our ships, and we're already at 19.2 thousand on their current strength. Remember, we started at 15.5, so this is a dramatic increase with the new weapons and the armor that we added onto our ships. So the next event here for the biomorphosis situation is evolutionary crossroads. Our efforts have led us to the brink of a significant evolutionary shift. Soon we must make a crucial decision regarding the path we will take to fully realize our evolutionary potential. We must once again decide where we should focus our efforts. So this is the third and final stage where again we can choose purity, cloning, or mutation. So if we go up purity, we'll level up to purity 2, which adds the leader maximum negative traits reduced by 1. And then it's basically focused on the purging and the integration. That's what you're really getting here. Frankly, I feel like this is not as good as the two bonuses you're going to get with the cloning and the mutation. So with the cloning, we'll not be leveling this up since we'll just be getting cloning 1 because we haven't gotten any of these options yet for cloning. But this is what's really interesting here. The biochemical composure. Leaders can have backup clones. So basically it makes your leaders immortal. Leaders with a backup clone trait can avoid death. So that's pretty powerful. I don't know if it fits with our species because we have so many leader bonuses, and part of the fun is your leaders dying and having to adapt to that and raising up new leaders, leveling them up, seeing new characters take over. But certainly very powerful. And if it was just between that and purity, I would definitely choose cloning, but the mutation one's pretty interesting as well. So this is going to level it up to the next level, so mutation 2. And that gets us the habitability from the genomic research facilities. But this will also add a bunch of traits that we can add to species during modification. So there's 3 here. And then there's also the Leviathan traits, so 3 more. So these are pretty cool. And remember, we'll be able to add more traits once we go down that tradition tree. So I think we should go with that one rather than the cloning or the purity. So let's go and start working on that. So basically we did 2 levels into mutation and then 1 level into purity. I think that's pretty fitting for our species. Not really doing the cloning at all. And we found that new archaeological dig site. So that's this one right here, I think. No, that's this one. Okay, so 2 archaeological dig sites here. This one's already been fully excavated, so can't work on that. But this is the new one that looks like it has not been worked on, so that's a brand new one. And we also got a new tradition, so let's go for one of the 2 prosperity ones. So this is going to reduce the infrastructure cost and build speed, while this one will reduce the upkeep. So that one will actually help us immediately. And I think that's the one we're going to get right now. And that branch has some bonuses that are a little bit more helpful for us. So already we have a shortage of influence now, guys. So let's get the mining stations and the research stations built here. And then these guys, they'll build the 2 mining stations there and then come down here and work on this. And apparently one of our science ships has encountered, God, whatever those things are called. Those one species. So that's unfortunate. We did research the Starhold. Which one of the scientists is it? Can we not see? Let's take a look. Yeah, we can't see who it is. So all we can do is look at the 2 we have. So we still have Grey Plume, our head of research. That's good. And we have Dr. Avian. Okay, so that was the gold character. Goldvolt, I believe, was the character's name. We could get the habitats, but you know what? Since we just got a new level for the star bases, let's reduce the cost for the buildings and the modules. This one doesn't take that long to research. 41 months. I mean, it's a little bit quicker than some of our other options there. Alright, so let's get Dr. Avian moving to the next location. Could also come back and do this project here. But again, I really want to make as much progress on surveying these systems as we can. We can always come back and do these later. Because again, we want to get all this into our space if we can. Again, the main limit here is the influence. Speaking of Dr. Avian, just leveled up to 3. I think Meticulous fits for a medical doctor. This will allow us to maybe discover more anomalies. Haven't really been discovering anomalies. I don't know if because this area has already been scanned by other species, other empires. Let's see what we got here. So we finished scanning that location. So let's have Grey Plume go this way. So it's good we got 2 scientists, one to go in each direction. Figure out which one's the most profitable for us to advance down once we get the influence to do so. And looks like we might have just been attacked. Yeah, we were attacked right here. Okay. So we will not be able to go in there. And I don't know that we can win there. I don't think so, guys. I don't think our fleet would be able to destroy them. Right, 82% on getting them upgraded, and we're not quite at 20,000 fleet strength yet. Yeah, I don't think so, guys. I don't think that's going to work out for us. Go and work on their first contact, I suppose, since Eyes of Burgundy is waiting to be assigned. So maybe that explains why this empire here, Kelbrun, has not gone into there. So now we got 2 science ships currently missing, unfortunately. Mutant excellence. A small percentage of our population has developed extraordinary abilities and physical enhancements due to their own experiments with mutation. As uniquely strong and gifted people, they are forming a community and garnering a lot of attention from the public. So we say their success could inspire others. This will give us a modifier for 5 years, increasing unity and happiness. Could instead say it sounds like they'd make good soldiers. Probably not the one we want to go with. Give us some Gene Warrior Army, or give us 1. Increase army damage, not that helpful. Does increase the opinion with Militaristic Empire, so. Or we could instead say find out how they did this and replicate it. So for 5 years we'll get increased society research, and we'll also increase the situation's advancement. You know what, I think we're going to go with this option here, guys. The increased unity and happiness for 5 years. I think that'd be pretty helpful. So our fleet has finished upgrading, and the total strength is 20.6 thousand. So that's a dramatic increase. It's increased by a third. Just a couple more months and we're going to get our science ship back. And what we're going to do with Dr. Avian here is probably have him do these projects for the asteroid, you know, where we lost our science ship. Oh, well, that's not good. So it seems that this is one of the cons. So, not happy about that. So the freeholders here, we have to hope that as we enter the mid game that we don't have that great con situation where they attack out from here and start building an empire as long as the Khan is alive, because we are not strong enough to deal with that. That could be a serious problem. I guess if we built the defensive network up, then it wouldn't be too much of an issue, because we can build some very powerful defenses. Yeah, I guess that'd be our really only choice that we'd have. How far away? Oh, very far. Alright, so Dr. Avian's going to come over here, and... oh, we didn't finish surveying the system. So first we'll have to survey it, and then we can work on the projects there. But yeah, we have to hope that a Great Khan doesn't rise here. So that also means we won't be able to scan these systems here until they're dealt with, and we're going to have to be significantly more powerful to deal with them. And with that 15,000 fleet strength, plus the 8,000, and you know, you got a bunch more fleets there, would not be able to handle them just yet. We need to build up quite a bit more. Maybe if we had 2 fleets, but even then, I don't think we'd be quite there yet. Let's go and start surveying this system. We'll go over here, and I think that's it. Yeah, I think we'll be done surveying all the systems. And so yeah, we're just going to try and grab as many of these as we can. I got a little bit delayed here because there's so much stuff to build in this system. So we've discovered what our mid-game crisis will be. It's going to be the void worm plague. The population of void worms in the galaxy has reached a critical mass. Their behavior is noticeably changing. The typical stage of their life cycle where host populations would be spared has been disrupted. There seems to be no further regard for the sustainability of their spawning grounds. All of our colonies are on red alert. The presence of void worms in any system should be met with extreme caution. A breeding frenzy on the galactic scale is upon us. The immunity we have previously developed against these parasites is no longer working to the same degree. We will need to go back to the drawing board. So if you guys recall, we did have that immunity there. It was a modifier. We no longer have that. But this does unlock a new situation, the Void Worm Plague, with 3 different options. We could support our fleet. This will increase the damage we do to the Void Worms and also give us more alloys, but it will have a cost of consumer goods and happiness, and it's also the slowest when it comes to moving through the situation outside of doing nothing. We could purge the infected. This will speed it up a bit, but it will cost us happiness, and it does have the nice bonus that void worms bombarding your colonies will no longer spawn new void worms, and also reduce the orbital damage that we receive from them. Or we could search for a cure that's going to advance the situation the fastest. It's 2 times the speed of the support our fleets, but it's going to cost a huge amount of monthly society research. It's negative 50%, so that's quite significant. However, it does have the bonus that it's going to increase our unity by 25%. So that'll allow us to move through the traditions a bit faster. I don't know, guys. I'm thinking one of these 2 options. I don't think we'd do this one here. I think we'd probably do either support our fleets or the search for a cure. So let me know down in the comments below. I say this one because we did already have that one modifier, so it makes sense that we try and get it back, you know, the immunity to them. And we're also best at society research. We're getting quite a bit more of that than physics or engineering, so it won't hit quite as hard, this penalty, and the unity would be really helpful as well. But this one makes sense too, though it would cause further problems with our happiness, and also you advance through the situation the slowest. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think, because unfortunately we'll have to end today's episode here. I did get one of our construction ships moving over to this location, so we should be able to grab that up. We'll have to see how far we can go. I don't know if there's anybody else can challenge us for these, actually, because I don't think it connects with anybody else, because they're blocked by these guys. See, I think all this should be added to our space, and overall we're drastically increasing the size of our empire, and we occupy a significant part of the overall galaxy. So we should be pretty powerful overall once we get all this grabbed up, and obviously, you know, get all of the stuff built in those new systems. So remember, you can provide feedback on 2 different things: the Void Worm Plague, you know, which option we should go with here, and then also the name of this planet, one of the new planets we got. So if you guys want to provide a name for this, then we'll go ahead and get them renamed to something a little bit different. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. I hope to see you guys on the next one, where hopefully we can make a bit more progress. We had a lot of things happening, particularly with the biomorphosis, so we only made it about 8 years or so. Hopefully should make a little bit more progress in the next video. So I do hope to see you guys on that one, and thanks for watching.